You ever hear about an invention that sounds almost too good to be true, and then it just vanishes off the face of the earth? Well, today, we're digging into the absolutely wild story of a technology that was discovered, got lost for 20 years, and is now finally making a comeback.
And our story kicks off with this really mysterious line from a Ukrainian newspaper all the way back in 2004. It's about a journalist bumping into an old scientist friend, completely by chance. And that accidental meeting uncovered something that should have changed everything.
All right, let's set the scene. It's Odessa, Ukraine, early 2000s. You've got this team of scientists, led by a really passionate guy named Vladimir Tuchny, and they're working on something they call microwave seed treatment. The results they're getting are, well, they're just staggering.
So, what were they actually doing? In the simplest terms, they were zapping seeds with a very specific microwave frequency. Now, here's the really crucial part, and the original article makes a huge deal about this. This was not genetic modification. It wasn't changing the seed's DNA. It was more like waking it up, activating all its natural potential to give it a massive head start.
And what a head start it was. Get this. Even for seeds that were substandard, the kind a farmer might just throw out, their germination rates shot up by 15%. All of a sudden, seeds that were basically useless became valuable.
And that initial jump just kept paying off. Come harvest time, farmers were seeing their total crop productivity go up by as much as 24%. I mean, for any farm, that's not just an improvement, that is an absolute game changer. But it wasn't just about getting more food. It was about getting it faster. Crops from these treated seeds were ready to be harvested almost 2 weeks earlier. That's a huge deal. That window could mean the difference between beating an early frost or, in some places, maybe even getting a whole second harvest in. And honestly, the benefits just kept stacking up. It was more than just yield. This microwave process actually disinfected the seeds from pests. It made the plants tougher, more resistant to drought and frost. And because of all that, it completely eliminated the need for chemical seed treatments. And this wasn't just a theory, right? By 2004, they'd already run over 15,000 experiments to prove it worked.
Which, of course, brings us to the big question. If this thing was so amazing, why aren't we all using it? Why have you never heard of it? Why didn't it become the global standard?
Well, that 2004 article spells it out pretty clearly. The scientists just slammed into a brick wall. The government, as they put it, just wasn't up to new technologies. They were also getting quiet pushback from the big chemical and pesticide companies, who, let's be honest, stood to lose a lot of money. And with no state funding, no factory to build their machines, the whole project was running on what Tuchny himself called pure enthusiasm.
And nothing paints a better picture of their struggle than this quote. Just imagine it. This wasn't some big industrial operation. This was a tiny team, treating a few sacks of seeds at a time and then literally carrying them to the train station to ask a friendly conductor to deliver them. It was the definition of a passion project. And eventually, it just fizzled out.
And for 2 decades, that's where the story ended. A forgotten idea, a footnote in an old newspaper article. Until now.
Okay, fast forward to today. A brand new company emerges, called PAROSTOK, which is a great name. It means sprout in Ukrainian. And they're reviving the exact same science, but this time it's for a world with a very different and much more urgent problem. And that problem? It's climate change. Citing data from NASA, PAROSTOK is pointing out that global corn yields could drop by, guess what, 24% by 2030. Suddenly, a technology that can boost yields, fight drought, and is totally green isn't just a cool idea anymore. It's starting to look like a necessity.
So, with this new fire under them, PAROSTOK is taking that 20-year-old science and packaging it into a sleek, modern business pitch for today's investors.
And the market they're aiming for is, well, it's huge. The entire seed treatment industry is worth over 11 billion euros. PAROSTOK thinks they can realistically grab a 230 million euro piece of that pie.
So how do they plan to compete with the giants like Bayer and Syngenta? Well, their pitch is pretty compelling. They're cheaper, they're 100% eco-friendly, and they're claiming yield increases that for certain crops can go as high as 65%. Plus, it's completely non-chemical.
And unlike those scientists sending sacks on a train, PAROSTOK has a crystal-clear, modern business plan. They're going after the big agricultural companies with a direct service, they have a flexible pay-per-use model for smaller farms, and they're building partnerships to plug right into the existing supply chain.
And their timeline is ambitious, to say the least.
Right now, they're raising money to launch in the EU. Then, pilot projects with major players next year start selling in Europe and Ukraine in 2027, and by 2030, they're aiming for a full expansion into the US and Asia. Okay, but here's the part that really got me. This is the moment where the past and the present just click together in this perfect, unbelievable way. The proof that this technology works has been hiding in plain sight.
This is the smoking gun. On the left, from that old 2004 newspaper article, you see amazing results from a place called the Alex Farm. Now, look on the right. In PAROSTOK's brand new 2024 investor pitch deck, there's a glowing review from the exact same farm, confirming they've been using it for years and getting consistent results. It's incredible. One of their very first customers just kept using the technology quietly for 2 decades, proving year after year that it worked.
So what we have is an idea born from pure post-Soviet science, an idea that failed because the world just wasn't ready, and now it's been reborn as a slick, venture-backed startup ready to help fight climate change.
And that, right there, is the core lesson of this whole story. The technology was always great. The science was always sound. So what changed in 20 years? It wasn't the invention. It was the world. The problems we're facing now, food security, sustainable farming, climate change, they've finally created the perfect soil for this old idea to finally, really take root.
It just leaves you with this fascinating question, doesn't it? We always celebrate the brilliant idea, the breakthrough moment. But maybe, as this 20-year journey shows, true innovation isn't just about having the idea, it's about surviving long enough for the world to finally catch up to you. So, is a great idea powerful on its own, or is timing everything?